Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Another night. Another night goes by. Wait, what? I don't want to be bottom. Damn it, I don't want to be bot. Shit. I don't want to be bot, dude. Shit. What do you want me to do? Jeez, what boring.
Rest is for the living.
fear the shadows.
Fear controls them. Rest is for the living.
Ugh.
Your Emperor shall return. is for the living.
man. Mm. Huh. Hmm.
Godless.
Don't let it go to your head. Oh wait, I'm back to get rid of that.
Rest is for the living.
Alright, finally. Here we go, chat. Finally we found one. Let's go. It's AP, huh? So we turtle. Oh, okay. When did the range on that get so high? Shameful. That was shameful, Echo. Oh, missed. Just missed that one. Going down swinging. Number one with your bullet. Oh, he ignited. I forgot he had ignite. And meanwhile, this is so funny, dude. Pretty log kick. Hey, what's up, dude? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Enjoy your stay. How are you doing? How are you? Sorry if I'm replying late. I didn't see your chat. Doing good. How about me? I'm doing good. I'm playing Inting Sion and it's really fun. It's a very unorthodox strategy, but it's so effective. And a lot of people have no idea how to play against it. There really isn't a way to play it. You just like it's just suffering for the other team. It's funny. There is no counter. It's just constant pressure. Just never-ending pressure. I'm just taking towers. See, it takes the whole team has to respond to me or they can't even do anything about it. And because I draw so much attention just to myself, the rest of my team is just free to do whatever they want. And that's why we're basically winning the game. We have more towers and more dragons because they have to respond to the pressure that I bring. See, so we're basically gonna get a free Baron out of this because they have to respond to me and they can't do anything about it. Yep, free Baron. And we have all the drags. See, the other team, they really can't do anything. They can't do anything but just suffer. It's so funny. See, now this is a guaranteed inhib right there. Because they're not gonna stop. They're not gonna be able to stop us. This is guaranteed. Oh, that's why this is so difficult, because this guy's feeding. If he wasn't feeding, this wouldn't be so difficult. I'm like, why are they so... I keep thinking of something. Like, why are they so strong? They shouldn't be this strong. Ah, shit. Me, dude. So close. Okie dokie. Let's see here. Yeah, go Gage. I might have to help my team here. We'll see. Or... See, now we have 2 inhibs. Hmm. Too easy. Too easy. Easy clap. That's game. We win. There's nothing they can do now. Got the Baron push. We got the siege minions. It's over. They're done. There's nothing they can do. GG. You lose. Again. To the Inting Sion. Ah. Oh man, dude, it feels good to just kick people's ass like that. It really does. Ah, another win in the books. Actually, you know what? I think I'm done for now. Or no, we'll do one more. I'm kind of burnt out because I sat in the queue for like 30 minutes. And then I got into a game and then they dodged. And then I sat in queue again for another 5 minutes. So I basically played 2 games already with the amount of time I wasted. It kind of burnt me out. I kind of want to just go some Fortnite now. I think I am gonna reset the stream and play some Fortnite. Turn it into a variety stream. Ooh, I have to pee. I'll be right back. Decline, I have to pee. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. All right, one more. All right, let's say I put on the John Campea show while I do some climbing. I haven't. I need to catch up with that show. I've missed so many episodes. Over here streaming to 0 people. Go to my channel.
Rest is for the living.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, brought to you in part by Mint Mobile, coming to you from right here on my YouTube channel. I am, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you, our international friends, gather around as we talk about our favorite things in the world: movies, movie news, TV, streaming, all sorts of good stuff. I had a good night last night. I'll talk about that in a second. Sitting right beside me over here, Chris Carr is here, ladies and gentlemen. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm having a bittersweet day. I got released from 2 nationals.
Oh.
So I
no.
it's like an actor breakup, right? So I got bangs.
Oh.
You know.
But the bangs are banging.
Thank you so
they
much,
look so
friend.
good.
Thank you.
I love them.
Is there an upside to this? You said there's
She
a
got
big-
bangs.
I did get bangs.
Oh,
So the
bangs,
upside
yes.
is whenever you get pinned or you're put on a veil for a commercial, obviously you're doing the right things. It just comes down to stuff that's out of your control. Like maybe I'm like too much of a brunette. Maybe I'm too white. Maybe I'm too tall. Things that, that's
She
just
looks
how
like
God
my
made me.
ex-wife, and I hate my ex-wife.
I look like a lot of people's ex-wife.
Sitting right beside her, of course, today is Wednesday. That means Aaron Cummings is here, and so is Joey Bishop. How are you guys
Hello.
doing?
Well, first of all, we are celebrating the fantastic wins at the Emmys of Squid Game. And I have to tell you, you guys have not lived until you've watched an orgy with the commentary of Mr. Ray Ora. Because let me tell you, man, that is
That was
some
something
fun
on
stuff.
Sunday night. That was
Yes.
something with your baby.
With my baby.
Yeah, by
yes.
the way.
and,
all the
and
babies.
Ray, who my baby was absolutely enamored and enthralled by, and Ray kept trying to cover his eyes, and I was like, he's 10 months, he doesn't know what's
gonna
happening. Ray was
remember.
like, he's too young, he's too young.
For context, we were watching House of the Dragon.
Oh,
For
yeah,
context.
we were watching a
Watching-
TV
And
show.
Ray was giving running commentary on the orgy, which was, I really should have recorded it. And of course, sitting right beside Ray, producer, running the show here today, Jonathan Boyko. Jonathan, how you doing?
I'm doing great as well. I'm celebrating the fact that the Dodgers clinched the division and there's still a month left in the season. That's how far ahead these guys are.
That's
Yes.
amazing.
100 games, more games to go.
But
20
doesn't
more.
that make it worse when they choke early in the playoffs?
Hey.
I'm just saying. All right. Anyway, guys, I wanted to tell you guys about something. So you guys know, allow me a moment here. You guys know I've been talking a long time about the only celebrity I have ever been too nervous to go up and introduce myself to is Weird Al. I've walked up, spoke with Helen Mirren, walked up, talked to Harrison Ford, George Lucas. Doesn't matter. It's fine. I don't get shook by that, right? But I've been in the same room at the same events with Weird Al Yankovic many times, and I've never had the guts to go up and watch him. I grew up on his music. And so Anne bought us VIP backstage meet and greet passes at the Weird Al Yankovic concert yesterday. And so I knew I was going to finally meet Weird Al. And the moment came, and the concert was done. It was a great show. Walked into the back to meet Weird Al, and he saw me come in, and he goes, "John Campea." And I'm like, he goes, "Watch the show, man. Love your reviews." I'm like, "Thank you. The show was great." And Anne later told me, she's like, "And can you bring that up, Jonathan?" Anne was this is not the first time that I bumped it. This was the second time he and I, because when I first met him it was for a photo, so we weren't separated by a plastic sheet like that. But anyway, Anne looks at me and she goes, "I've never seen you like that. I was dumbfounded and stunned and numb." And I know for a lot of people, it's like, well, it's Weird Al. You don't understand. This is the one celebrity I've never, ever, ever had the guts to talk to. And when I walked in that room and he was like, "John," I'm like, holy shit. So I was like, "That's it. Tomorrow I'm not going to be on the show. I can retire now. My career has hit its apex. It's never going to get bigger than this.
Good run.
It's never going to get better than this. So I might as well just pack it in now." Anyway, so big thank you to, in case he sees this at some point, to Weird Al Yankovic for making this fucking Canadian nobody's life. You gave me seriously one of my favorite moments ever. My absolute favorite moment in my career. So thank you, sir. All right. With that down, guys, we got a few things to keep you up to date about. First of all, want to let you guys know that we, of course, have a segment on the show now called the Mint Mobile Hotline Question of the Day. But the thing is, you guys have really been using it a lot, and we only have time for one or two each day. So starting this week, we're going to be putting up a separate video every week that I'm going to be doing called the Mint Mobile Hotline Questions of the week, where I'm going to pick 5, 6, or 7 of my favorite hotline questions that you guys phone in that we didn't have time to use on the main show. Again, we can't possibly do all of them, but I'm at least going to start getting through more of them. So keep your guys' eyes open for that a little bit later this week. Okay, guys, here's how today's show is going to go. We break it down into 2 parts. In the first part of the show, we're going to talk about some predetermined topics. Then in the second half of the show, we're going to take your live comments and questions. Now, if you want to get a live comment or question on, number 1, you got to be watching live. Number 2, when we get to the end of the main topics, we'll announce that we're opening up the super chats. And once we do, that'll be your cue to fire in your thoughts, theories, opinions, speculations, and questions. And we'll spend the second half of the show addressing those. So with that all down, let's get into an off the top here, shall we? And our first off the top is this. I mentioned that, me and Ann and you and Tom and Ray and little Tommy, we got together to watch House of the Dragon the other night. Thoroughly loving this show. This show has been amazing. Well, even though House of the Dragon opened to spectacular numbers, the biggest HBO has seen since the conclusion of the original Game of Thrones series, it looks like the viewership is going up. If you take a look over here at Variety, viewership for the 4th episode went up another 5%. Now, this is why this is particularly interesting, because this is a piece of context that will probably go right over Chris's head. But there's a little organization known as the NFL.
I know them.
Who are they?
Yeah, they're a bunch of good
National
boys.
Feminists League. We are very well aware of
That's
them.
exactly what it is, the National Feminist League. And they started their season this weekend. And you had your first Sunday night football game of the year. And even with that, with the NFL, which is the #1 sport by miles in North America, even with that, the viewership of Game of Thrones House of the Dragon went up. This tells me 2 things. One, I know I sound like a broken record player, but man, when you do week-to-week releases instead of dropping everything at once, word of mouth builds and everybody wants to get on the train. FOMO kicks in for a lot of people. So you're like, okay, got to get on board. And the viewership just swells and swells and swells and swells. Number 2, what it tells us is that House of the Dragon is really hitting home with people. People are enjoying this show because not only do they continue to watch it, but clearly they're spreading the word about it and more people are jumping on board with it as well. So that is huge to see. Chris, you see this, the numbers go up. What stands out to you about that?
I mean, thank God people are having their babies watch these orgies. That's great. You love to see
Getting
it
those
happen.
numbers up.
Gotta get those numbers up. Honestly, I do think a lot of this is people have been waiting out to see if the show was decent, right? Because some people, not everyone, some people enjoyed that last season. Some of us didn't. But I think people really have been waiting out to say, is this worth tuning into? I've been burned before. I don't want to get Dracarys. I want to enjoy this show. And I think people are really, really liking House of the Dragon. Plus, I mean, if you want to get butts and seats and people streaming, you do have an orgy. You go, hey, remember how Game of Thrones had a lot of nudity? Guess what, kids? Let's tune in.
And everybody, I mean, who doesn't like a good uncle-niece scene? Anyway, Aaron, you were there. You watched it with, but
I
you
did.
see these viewership numbers going out at the same time that the NFL is kicking back off again,
Yeah.
which is huge. What stands out to you?
Well, I mean, I feel like for the very first episode, they went for it. I mean, after that scene, the childbirth scene, I said to Tom, I go, he was sort of like half paying attention, and I go, oh my god, you got to rewind that, you got to see it. And he goes, what happens? I said, I cannot describe it, but this show started at Red Wedding. And then they're going. And that first episode, to have such a gruesome and brutal and heartbreaking scene, and then the pyre scene to come right after that, and when the camera pans down, I went, oh my God, they didn't start at episode 1 of Game of Thrones. They started at Red Wedding level, and then they're just going to continue, and they keep pushing that needle of expect the unexpected. And the talent is so, that's what I'm really excited about, is that Game of Thrones, we came to expect a certain caliber of talent, and they're there. It's not like they took the B team for the sequel. They took their already high level A team and they said, we're only going to hire at this level and beyond. And so far, I'm really loving it. And I really want to, we watched the after show where the director was being interviewed, and she was talking about how she watched films, seeing sex scenes through the lens of a male gaze. And the male gaze is a term that you can look up. It's a filmmaking term. And as a woman, she wanted to showcase through a different eye. And I thought she did a really beautiful job of setting up the anticipation and giving us the will they, won't they. I thought that she did a remarkable job, and I'm really excited about next Sunday, not only to watch my water bottles win that game. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm still voting. The Lions have it. The Lions have it. Just kidding. They never do. But not only for the NFL and for them to have an excellent season where everyone stays safe, but also for House of the Dragon where no one is safe.
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about that? So have you been watching House of the Dragons? What do you think about the viewership going up despite the fact that the first Sunday Night Football of the season happened? Whatever your guys' thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. All right, guys. With that down, let's do one more off the top, and that is this. You know, where people are getting their limbs hacked off in House of the Dragon, jobs are
I
getting
took too many
hacked off
shots.
over at Warner Brothers, as it is being revealed through Variety that Warner Brothers Discovery has started the process of laying people off. They said they've laid off a little over 100 employees right now. Of course, this was completely expected because of the merger and all that kind of stuff. I think they said this is somewhere around the 30% mark of the layoffs are going to do, so you can expect hundreds more. Now, of course, this is
he
no
AP or
surprise.
AD? I don't
remember, of course,
know.
when Disney bought out Fox, shortly after that, a lot of cuts got made because you simply had redundancies. You had people who were doing duplicate jobs in the two organizations, and now those duplicate jobs weren't required, especially since we also found out Warner Brothers Discovery announced that a lot of the layoffs that will be happening there are going to be as a result, not of their merger with Discovery, but of Warner Brothers doing more merging of HBO Max and HBO, and getting rid of some of the redundancies between there as well. This is what the people at over at Variety said. They said Warner Brothers Discovery enacted 100 layoffs Tuesday as a part of a planned downsizing of the company's ad sales department. I guess that's where they're starting in ad sales. That had been in the works since Discovery closed its merger with Warner Media in April, Variety has confirmed. These cuts are part of a previously reported and expected 30% reduction overall across the ad sales division, a sector of the merged company with many redundancies in the coming weeks. However, not all of the exits will be layoffs. According to an individual with knowledge of the situation, an undisclosed number of those departures will be negotiated deals, while others will simply be retirement. So again, we knew this was coming. It's an unfortunate part whenever there's a merger happening. Again, we saw much bigger layoff numbers happen once Disney took over Fox. That was a bit of a bigger deal. We are now seeing it enacted. It's always unfortunate. It sucks when anybody loses their gig, but it is the nature of the beast. You know, Aaron, you hear about this. It's never good to hear about anybody losing their jobs, but this was expected. What are your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, what are the thoughts other than, you know, condolences, and this is a really tough economy to be unemployed in? I know, because after every episode of Nancy Drew that I shoot, I am again unemployed. So, you know, it is very unfortunate. I hope that all of these people, given their background, given the fact that they've worked for a company as successful as Warner Brothers, have many opportunities to take their illustrious talents to another place that can have a home for their abilities.
Chris, you hear about this again, and listen, Hollywood's a small town, really. Like,
Yeah.
we all probably know people who are going to be impacted by this. What were your thoughts?
I mean, it's an absolute shame. This happens, though, because of that kind of duplication of efforts, right? And at the Goldman Sachs conference, they were talking about how this is going to theoretically save $6 million just because of that lack of duplication of efforts. So it makes sense, right? We're getting rid of people, or $6 billion, excuse me. We're getting rid of people who have similar jobs to other people. It's still a shame, though. What I'm still really wondering, though, about Warner Brothers right now is, yes, they're doing a lot of things to save money. Yes, they're doing a lot of things to cut costs and get them back to where they need to be financially. But I want to see what this studio is going to be creating.
Yeah, but again,
Yeah.
you know, we've talked about this before, though. Like,
Yeah.
the axe is instant recognition. When the axe falls and something is cut off, that's instant. It's going to take us 2 to 3 years to really see what the creation
absolutely.
is going to be.
Yeah, and this has obviously just been writing on the wall, especially after we saw them just kind of jettison so much stuff off the streaming apps. We're not paying residuals on those things. We're not paying usage fees on those anymore. So all these layoffs were just, you know, waiting to happen. It's just a shame.
All a part of the plan. Anyway, guys, question is for you. It's unfortunate when you hear about stuff like this, but when big mergers happen of companies, you knew it was coming. But it looks like Warner Brothers has started the layoff process. Is there anything in this story that really stands out to you? Whatever that is, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. Before we move on to the next part of the show, we want to take a second and thank one of the sponsors of today's show, our friends at HelloFresh. Hey guys, we want to thank one of the sponsors of today's video, HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep and completely ready to prepare. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. And that's why it's America's #1 meal kit. And guys, I know we are always looking for ways to save some money. In fact, HelloFresh is 25% less expensive than takeout, and it's even more cheaper than going to the grocery store too. And HelloFresh isn't just for dinners. Shop HelloFresh Market for quick breakfasts, wholesome snacks, and even desserts. You'll find everything you need to satisfy your cravings without stepping a foot in the grocery store or mini-mart. Listen, you know I've told you guys before, Ann and I are both working professionals, so finding time to eat healthy and eat together is often challenging. But I'm telling you, these HelloFresh meal kits have made it easy to eat a lot healthier, it's less expensive for us, and we have a blast. And there's nothing like feeling like a chef when you put the final product on the plate. So right now, go to HelloFresh.com/Campia16 and use the promo code Campia16 for 16 free meals across 7 boxes and 3 free.
No matter what you're in the mood for, with the all-new Royal Crispy Chicken lineup at Burger King, you can't go wrong. Classic, cheesy, spicy, or tangy. Reward yourself with any of the all-new Royal Crispy Chicken sandwiches today, only at Burger King.
Free gifts. That's HelloFresh.com/Campia16 and use the promo code Campia16. And thank you to our friends at HelloFresh for sponsoring this episode of the John Campia Show. Okay, guys, with that down, let's move on to our newest segment here on the show, our Mint Mobile Hotline Question of the Day. If you've got a question or a topic you'd like to bring up here, you don't just have the option to write it in. You can actually phone it in if you'd like and have your voice on our show. Simply call the hotline number at 951-268-4259, and you just might hear your voice on the show. So, Jonathan, what's our Mint Mobile Hotline Question of the Day today?
Hey, John, this is Dane from Las Vegas. Look, I love Matt Reeves' Batman movie. Robert Pattinson's my new favorite Batman. And given that DC/Warner Brothers are going through some changes, and with the Batman's popularity, I would love to see Robert Pattinson's Batman branch out past just making Batman movies and maybe create a new DC universe and see him interact with a different version of the Justice League. Is that an unpopular opinion? And is it a long shot?
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in. First of all, the whole concept of, like, say, Matt Reeves rebuilding a DCU around the Robert Pattinson Batman character, which came out to incredible success. Number one, is that an unpopular opinion? No, it's not necessarily an unpopular opinion. Actually, I've heard a number of people suggesting something like that. And right now, with the state that Warner Brothers is in, they are in a state of flux with their DC properties. They're looking for a new head of content. They're kind of re-envisioning what the whole thing is going to be with the DCEU. So yeah, this is the good time. However, I'm going to say this. It wouldn't happen, and it shouldn't happen. And the reason I say it wouldn't and shouldn't happen is because of this. That Matt Reeves Batman that he has created is unique in his world. I don't see that Batman with a goddess from Themyscira with a magical golden lasso that makes people tell the truth. I don't see that gritty, rooted in as much of reality as a fantasy like this can be on screen with a dude in a red jumpsuit with a yellow lightning bolt that runs faster than the speed of light. I don't see that this grounded, rooted, gritty Batman characters he created and in this world that Matt Reeves has created can be the same home and same world of an alien from a distant planet who gains superpowers from the radiation of a yellow sun. I just don't see it. I mean, Batman is a pivotal character in DC with a Justice League and all that kind of stuff, absolutely. But this Batman, that he's created, I just don't think that works with other superheroes. At least super-powered superheroes. I don't think this Batman works in a world with the super fantastical going on. I don't know. Chris, we've heard it brought up before because the Batman still is my second favorite movie of the year. I mean, I love this movie. But can you build a new DCEU around it, do you think?
I mean, you could, but then you'd have to jettison so many other things. And I love a lot of the stuff in DC right now. I adore Shazam. I love the Shazam family.
Shazam so much.
I can't wait for that movie. Stop pushing it back. Give me the movie. That is so good. I really, really enjoy Aquaman. I think Jason Momoa is so fun in that role. I've really, really loved, the first Wonder Woman. But
Wonder Woman.
The first Wonder
First
Woman.
one, yes.
Second one. There was some icky stuff that I didn't like.
There were some issues.
That's not your boyfriend. Stop it. And this Batman is so great, but it does feel like it's in a very different world. Part of what I think is happening, though, too, is I'm wondering if we do need a cohesive DC universe, right? Because one of the things I love about DC Comics is that I feel like they've always done a slightly better job of spanning various genres and tonalities than Marvel sometimes has. Marvel certainly has been able to play with things, like their noir series and stuff like that, and setting things in a grittier way, a lot of the Old Man Logan stuff. But DC feels like it's been able to just, really play with their materials. And I feel like the film universe could do that too and have things a little separated. They don't have to fit together like puzzle pieces for me to have a fun time watching them. So
Aaron, not only did you watch the Batman with us, but it was baby Tommy's first movie theater going experience for that Batman. Anyway, do you think
I am Mother of the Year? If anybody wants to know how to raise a sociopath, I'm going to show you in real time.
Logan yelled more than Tommy.
Do you think that this Batman, this Robert Pattinson Batman, could be, say, the cornerstone of a wider superhero DC extended universe world?
No, I don't think that it could be. I mean, here's the thing. Anything's possible, of course, but for the same reasons why that both of you just named. But also, I imagine this Batman as being,
did not expect
his
that
whole
one.
persona
That
could
one
be
caught me by
summed
surprise.
up by the immortal words of Pee Wee Herman. I'm a loner. I'm a rebel, Dottie. That's what I feel is coming from him. He doesn't play well with others, I mean, even Catwoman is.
I half agree with them, but
I
kind of half don't. I think that it has potential. I think it could be really cool.
That he is a loner and that he does not really want to be around a lot of other people, and I don't see him fitting into a group of crime fighters. I kind of see him doing his own thing, and if we try to mush him together with other characters that are already established and are doing their own thing, it just is. It's either going to change the lightness and the thing that we love about those characters, like Shazam, for example, or it's going to water down this, emo Batman that I'm really kind of digging right now. I just kind of want him to go on his own solo adventure and see what he comes up with on his own. I don't really need him watering himself down for anyone other than Catwoman, because that's some sexy stuff.
Now, I can see this Batman working with other non-super-powered characters. I could see you introducing other Batman catalog characters that are not super-powered characters. I can sort of see that to a degree, but it's
Is anyone coming to mind for you?
Well, I mean, you could talk about, you could do something like Deathstroke. You could do something like, we've talked before a bit about KGB, so you could do something like, you'd have to change the story up a little bit, but like a Nightwing or something. Other members of the Bat family could be in there too. But to me, it's about more than Robert Pattinson's Batman. It's the world that Matt Reeves.
So different.
Yeah, that does not feel like there are gods and goddesses running around. But I don't know. Listen, I know a lot of you guys probably have a difference of opinion on that. If you do, I'd love to hear it. Whatever your guys' thoughts are on that, jump down to the comments section below and leave those thoughts there. All right, guys, you know what? I'm in such a good mood from meeting Weird Al yesterday. Let's do another Mint Mobile Hotline question of the day, shall we?
Okay,
What's
now
our
I'm
second
done.
one
I'm
today,
done with
Jonathan?
League for today.
Don, it is I, Sauron from Florida. And I'm just wondering, John, when do you think that they're actually going to show me in this show based around me and the 6 other movies or however many they've made, and they've really only shown me for about 5 minutes in my physical form, maybe 10 minutes? Okay, bye.
Sauron would be hiding in Florida.
Sauron would be hiding in Florida.
that adds up. That adds up.
Right.
Sauron's in Florida. All right. So it's, you know what? It's a really good question because it stretches beyond the current Rings of Power show. When you go back to the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings films, Sauron is always a concept. I mean, not always, but most of the time he's just a concept. Sometimes you hear or you see the eye or whatever, but it's very, very rare that you actually see him in his physical form.
Mm-hmm.
There was actually one extra shot of Sauron in his physical form. If you remember at the end of Return of the King, as Aragorn is leading the armies in a full frontal attack on
that's the one time we see him. Yeah, and he's terrifying
point in the
looking.
movie, you see Aragorn fighting like this giant troll thing that's tossing him around a little bit and ultimately wins. Well, in the original shot, that was Sauron he was fighting. And they decided, and there are animatics of this out there that exist. You can find the footage of it. And they ultimately decided that Sauron shouldn't be there physically fighting Aragorn, so they CGI'd that monster over it instead.
That's a weird
it's really
choice.
Kind of interesting. We get very little of Sauron. Of course, now that we're in Rings of Power, that same thing is kind of there. Sauron is this idea. He's this looming threat, but we really haven't seen much of him through the first 3 episodes. And I'll be honest with you, I don't expect that we're going to see him anytime soon. I don't even know that I expect we're going to see him in the first season at all. Like, there might be some flashback stuff, whatever, because we've already seen a few moments of flashback stuff, like with him in that ice palace with the orcs rallying around him. But I don't think we're going to see him much. I think they're going to treat him the same way they did in the movies. And maybe once we get into the latter seasons, they'll bring him more to become a more dominant character. But I suspect, and I'm guessing, we're not going to see much at all the first season. Chris, what do you think?
I don't think so. I think part of Sauron's whole thing is the intangibility, because an idea is so much more terrifying than an actual corporeal being. So if we are to see him in season 1, it'd be the very end, a little taste to get you ready for season 2, because it's 5 seasons total, right?
That's what they say
that we're planning on. So yeah, I don't think you bring out Sauron yet. You don't blow your load like that. Come on, guys, give it time.
Give it time. All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think? Do you think we're going to see Sauron anytime soon? Maybe, look, maybe tomorrow night he pops up in the very next episode. Maybe. I got a feeling it's not going to be for a while. How do you think they should be handling it? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. All right, guys. With that down, let's now move on to our main topics here today. But before we get to those, we want to take a second and thank another sponsor of today's show. Good folks doing good work over at BetterHelp. Hey guys, we want to thank one of the sponsors of today's video, BetterHelp. Let me ask you something. How well would you take care of your car if you knew that was going to be the only car you ever had for your entire life? Well, that's how our brains and our minds work. So why don't we treat them the same way? Because how we take care of our
Shit, man. I need water. I feel really hot. I might actually check my temperature real quick just because I feel so fucking warm. I think I'm gonna do that right now. Just to make sure I don't have like a fever or something.
minds will affect how we experience life, so it's important to invest time and care into keeping it healthy. Now, there are plenty of ways to support a healthy brain, like learning a new language or taking power naps, but there's also BetterHelp online therapy. Now, I've talked about this before, but I've never understood this stigma attached to people wanting to seek out ways to improve their mental health. When somebody decides to go to the gym to improve their physical health, we think that's great. Well, that's the same way we need to look at taking care of our mental health as well. BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat-only therapy sessions, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you're not comfortable with that. And it's much more affordable than in-person therapy. So guys, listen, right now, the John Campea Show viewers and listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Campea. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Campea. And thank you to our friends at BetterHelp for not only doing the good stuff that they do, but for being a sponsor of the John Campea Show. Okay, guys, with that down, let's get into our main topics here today. And here's how we select our main topics. You guys come up with our main topics. Whenever you guys come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys feel we should cover as a main topic on the show, just go anytime, 24/7, over to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question. It's absolutely free. Hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on the John Campea Show. With that down, Aaron, what is our first main topic today?
This one comes to us from Benson. I was really interested in the Marilyn Monroe Netflix movie Blonde as soon as I heard that Ana de Armas was going to be in it. I thought it was perfect casting. But man, the reviews are coming out and now I am not so sure. It looks like the critic ratings are solid, but they're all saying it's completely brutal and a tough watch. Wondering if you guys saw the reviews yet and what you thought of them. Thanks.
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in, Benson. And I remember when they had wrapped production on Blonde a while ago. A story came out about that it was going to be pretty visceral. It was going to, the director said at the time that one of the things that they were really, really going for is to emotionally force the audience to feel it. And at the time, I mean, I understand that mentality, because there have been movies that have happened where like really horrific things happen. And I come out and I feel like, as an audience member, to feel the things I needed to feel to really get the outrage or the anger or the horror or the despair or whatever, I as an audience member needed to experience that to really get it. There was actually a movie called that Peter Jackson did. The one he did with Mark Wahlberg. What was the name of that one again? Where the young girl gets murdered by Stanley Tucci.
Lovely Bones.
The Lovely Bones. Thank you. I remember watching The Lovely Bones, and I remember saying in my review,
Mark Wahlberg's in that?
I almost wish they had shown
I don't
the
remember
murder,
that.
because after the murder, I never really saw Stanley Tucci as the monster I think I needed to see him as. And I think there's something about experiencing something of that horror. Now, that is not a blanket statement for everything. Not at all. It's just that there are some situations where I think that should apply and some situations where maybe it doesn't. But yeah, the reviews are coming out for Blonde, and they are very good, but also very trepidatious. This, for example, comes to us from the folks over at GQ, and they wrote the following. This is simply the opening salvo in a torrent of cruelty suffered by Norma Jean, that's of course Marilyn Monroe, who we next meet as Marilyn Monroe, the up-and-coming starlet cast as a ditz by the men surrounding her. The nightmare continues. As an early audition for a studio contract, she's raped by a studio executive, viewed in unflinching fashion by Dominic's camera. Blonde keeps us in this version of Monroe's perspective at all times. At almost 3 hours long, it unfolds as the final death vision of a woman rendered an object to be consumed, to be oogled, to be endlessly raped and devastated and brutalized. The material is uncomfortable enough, but Blonde's technical flourishes only double down on the sadism. It is disturbingly beautiful. Let me try this again. It is a disturbingly beautiful picture, lit, framed, and hazily conceived like the product of a lurid sleep paralysis. Which, by the way, GQ, whew, well done in your elocution. And this is one of these things where it's like, you're right, excited to see this. it promises to be an experience. Is it an experience? I want to know. And then I ask myself, I have these moral dilemmas. Of like, because on the one hand I think, okay, I want to see it, but then I think, oh, but it's going to show some bad stuff, so I don't know that I want to. And then there's an ethical dilemma of me. It's like, hey, asshole, she's the one who went through it, and people should bloody well understand what she actually went through, and not the prettied up, oh, she had a rough go of it. No, we're going to show you what she had to endure, and you bloody well are going to understand it. But then I don't know. I feel torn by that. So again, like I said earlier, I think for some movies that is kind of necessary, but for other movies it's not. Having not seen
I don't know
one
if that's going to be
myself,
something I want to see.
I cannot say whether it's one or the other. But it does make me feel like when I'm going to watch it, I feel like I'm going to keep my remote control in my hand, getting ready to either mute or turn it off, or
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't know. I mean, but it
just gets
sounds
too
like it certainly
snuff
sounds like an
film,
ambitious
you know?
project, one way or the other. Anyway, Chris,
almost.
you're hearing about this. We did talk about this project before, and
Okay,
similar
so-
themes, but it sounds like
all
they
right.
really swung for the fences on it. What's your reaction
We're
hearing your reviews are coming out?
The last one we
tonight.
talked
I
about
guess I have to
Amazon.
reset the stream.
Um,
I'm gonna have to restart, change titles, everything.